and I saw the kid running with the shotgun, and then I thought it was going to be like a firearm presentation, but then once I heard the shot and I saw the blood splatter, I realized that it was real.
The gunman, just 12 years old, is in state police custody tonight. The two fellow students he's accused of shooting in their Roswell school gymnasium before class are seriously hurt. One is still in critical tonight after he was shot in the face and the neck. Tonight, the community is coming together to pray for those kids while they try to make sense of what has happened. The shooter walked into Berendo Middle School armed with a shotgun. It was a teacher who talked him into putting it down before anyone else got hurt. Tonight, we're learning more about how it all unfolded. My co-anchor, Jessica Gadate, kicks off our live team coverage of the school shooting tonight from Roswell. Jessica?
And Dean, as you can imagine, it has been an emotional day for this community here in Roswell. First of all, we start with the alleged shooter, 12-year-old Mason Campbell. We've learned that that is the shooter that's accused this morning of shooting in the gym. His attorney, Bob Gorence, tells us, his family's hired his attorney, Bob Gorence, and he tells us that currently that this young man, this 12-year-old Mason Campbell, is at a psychiatric hospital in Albuquerque, and that tomorrow his family will be releasing a statement. Now, just moments ago, a press conference wrapped up here with state police and the governor giving new details. Here's what the governor had to say.
New Mexicans come together every single time there is a crisis, whether we have a fire, whether we have a flood, or today, a shooting within a school.
Now, here's what the governor had to say, the new details she released. She says that the girl that was shot today, her name is Kendall Sanders. She's a 13-year-old. She has been upgraded to stable. She's in a Lubbock hospital. She was shot in the shoulder in the gym this morning. The second child who was shot today was shot and hit in the face and neck. His family did not want his name released. He is still in critical condition at a Lubbock hospital. The teacher, the teacher today, the governor said that the shooter had actually pointed the gun at him. And that's when the teachers stepped in and was able to get that shooter to put the gun down. Now, I talked to a lot of kids who were in that gym today. State police said 500 kids were in that gym. It was a cold morning. And they go into the gym to warm up. Some of them hang out in the cafeteria. 500 were in the gym waiting for the first bell to ring for classes to start this morning. And they were just in shock when, a lot of them saw the victims. And the girl that was shot, they said that she didn't realize it till she had saw the blood, and then she realized she had been hit. And then people went to help out, and teachers went to help out the little boy who had been hit. Now, according to State Police Chief Pete Casetas, over 60 interviews today have been done, 60 interviews with children and people who were at the school and at the shooting this morning. Currently, State Police is serving 3 search warrants, one for the shooter's locker at the school, one for a bag in which he carried the 20-gauge shotgun in, and one for a residence. Now, again, State Police right now, they're not confirming who the shooter is, but we've learned through the shooter's family attorney, the alleged shooter, who that is. Now, again, State Police is still not saying how many shots were fired in the gym. They say that they're still there tonight trying to piece this together, looking for everything. They don't want to release anything. They haven't released a motive. They don't know yet. They don't want to say yet until they've pieced together everything and done all of their interviews. Dean?
All right, Jessica, thank you very much. As you can imagine, hundreds of parents were frantic trying to get to their kids at the school after hearing about the shooting. They were all told to go to the local mall to be reunited. And when they were, there was relief and tears.
I was so happy. My wife was crying and everything.
Well, I'm just excited that you're okay.
Parents and other family members huddled together praying as they waited for word about their sons and daughters. It was not until about 10 o'clock, an agonizing 2 hours after that shooting, that they had their kids back in their arms.
Of course, you go out there, you see it on the news all the time. You don't know who's hurt, if anybody's hurt, you know, what is going on there. And seeing the faces of the children coming out and just tears and scared, and it just breaks your heart, you know, to see these kids that at such a young age have to witness and be a part of such a tragedy.
With so many family members and students to tend to, it took a few hours for all of them to be reunited. Well, it has been an especially tough day for the two victims' family and friends. The two students, ages 11 and 13, were flown to a Lubbock hospital with the boy in far more serious condition than the girl. News 13's Gabrielle Burkhardt continues our live team coverage. Gabby?
Dean, several students we spoke with today say they're still in shock about the incident. One girl says she called her friend as soon as she found out that the 11-year-old boy that was hit is her close friend, and he was hit by the shooter.
I'm like surprised right now. Like, why would somebody even do that to somebody?
An 11-year-old boy who the family wants to remain unidentified was shot in the face and neck after police say 12-year-old 7th grader Mason Campbell walked into the gym at Berendo Middle School and started firing a shotgun. Parents were directed away from the school to reunite with their kids about a mile away at the mall. Police on scene tell me in a crowd of hundreds of parents, everyone this morning wanted to know who was injured. And when one woman found out that 13-year-old Kendall Sanders was also hit and flown to the hospital, she couldn't believe it.
My heart fell to my stomach because at that moment I knew that it was our sweet girl.
Now, family members tell me Sanders, the young girl that was injured, was hit with shrapnel in her shoulder area. She also went through surgery today and is expected to be all right. Dean, back to you.
All right, a little bit of good news there, Gabrielle. Thank you very much. We're told that as soon as they heard the news, dozens of family members made the drive to Lubbock to be with the two victims in the hospital.
Zoom out. Well, today here at the Civic Center, just hundreds of people gathered to just pray for those victims, and a lot of tears in there today.
It was very emotional. In fact, more than 1,500 people filled that arena tonight. Many of them, of course, parents and students, but we also saw lots of police officers and people who responded to that scene. Now, a lot of local churches organized tonight's event as a way for the community to come together. Parents I talked to said it marked the end of an exhausting day.
It's good for the kids. It's good for the community. They needed it. They need to have their friends. They need to see that there's support and that people are praying for them.
We have really come together as a community. Everybody's constantly been posting on Facebook, Instagram, just worried about each other's kids, praying for each other's. The phone calls, the friends nationwide who have spread their support to us.
This was the first vigil, but it won't be the last, and at least one local church is holding a gathering tomorrow night specifically for all the students who have been affected by this tragedy. I spoke with one pastor tonight who called tonight's event a healing moment, but said they have a long road ahead. Dean, back to you. All
right, Tina, thank you very much. A state police officer was actually dropping off his own child when he was approached by the Berendo principal moments after the shooting. Lieutenant Gary Smith rushed to help. He arrived inside the gym just after a teacher had disarmed the young gunman. Today, State Police Chief commended them all for their brave actions.
It's one thing for an armed state police officer to enter a school and do his or her job. It's another thing for a teacher or staff member to intervene in a situation like this. I commend the principal and the people that work at this school for saving many more lives.
The Roswell School District Superintendent also praised his brave staff. He said today he is deeply saddened about this shooting.
We come to school daily thinking that we are going to educate our kids and to leave them, and we never think that things like today will ever happen. And they do.
Now, because of today's tragic events, classes have been canceled tomorrow for Berendo Mid School. Students at Berendo Elementary will return to classes as scheduled.